Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Carrie and Dani. This will be our special Christmas episode. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Christmas. Right now, we've got snow and sunshine here in the Midwest. I'm guessing the weather is slightly different where you are at, Dani, down there in New Zealand. So, how are things going with you?
Oh, not too bad. I was thinking about our Christmas episode, and I've got quite a few girlfriends that have this skill too. I haven't met a man yet with it, but there will be some. You know that, do you have that skill, Carrie? It comes from being a verbal processor, where you can think something and speak it at exactly the same time. You can know it, but you don't know it until you hear it yourself because you spoke it.
I process just about everything in my head before I say it. So it's
Okay, well,
very different. I'm more of a visual processor, I think. I don't know. Some people
okay.
have that skill though. I mean, sometimes I can do it.
I do, and so do quite a few of my girlfriends. So, with that in mind, I was just thinking that let's see where we end up with this because I have no idea at this point. I loved moving my computer screen. Sorry, I'm fussing a little bit. I love your backdrop, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
I don't have any Christmas backdrops, so I found some patchwork fabric. It
Very
is
nice.
red,
Yep,
close to the Christmas theme as I could get, and some sparkles. So,
that works. I got my Merry, you can't see, but it's Merry Grinchmas. There's the Grinch on my on my sweatshirt. Not that I'm
oh, that.
Grinchy. I'm just saying I think it's cute. So I also got it on clearance, so it was really cheap.
Oh, everything is enhanced if it was a bargain. I wonder if that's a female thing. If you're listening, anyone, just let us know. Do you know any men that get more excited about bargains the same way that us women do? So
My
yeah,
husband does. He's a
does he?
bargain shopper too. Yep.
I was thinking about Christmas. And I'm probably going to ask you some questions about Christmas because I mean, to me, Christmas is I have some happy memories when I was a kid. And I have some happy memories from when I was a kid. And yeah, but I feel like sometimes I still feel like I'm missing something. And I think maybe it's because I don't have children, and I know that you do. We don't
Mhm.
have kids at home anymore. And so sometimes I think that as an adult with no kids in the house, the wonder and that joy of Christmas that used to be doesn't exist quite the same anymore. So I don't think I found meaning in Christmas quite the same as an adult, or not the last 5 years anyway. I did make some craft items and donate them online to people that had not a lot of presents for Christmas.
Mhm.
And before we moved down here, my sweetheart was worked at the airport, so he would work Christmas. And he did that for about probably 9 years. He worked Christmas. He volunteered for Christmas, and I said, "Look, work Christmas so that people with really little children could stay at home."
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'd go to my girlfriend's house, and my friend, she had, 7 kids in the house plus all the cousins, and there
Mhm.
could be anywhere 40 people there, and anywhere up to 15 children, and the noise was horrendous. But it was amazing. So 4 or 5 hours of that, and I was ready to go home and
Mhm.
and have some quiet time. But Christmas, tell me about Christmas for you. How much of it is a reminder of how much of it is about the celebration of, I guess, the birth of Jesus, and how much of it for you is about all those other things? And does it matter that they're separate, or are they all combined?
Good question. I mean, I think Adventism as a whole, and of course, growing up in a reasonably, I think probably more mainstream Adventist, not real conservative, certainly not real liberal home in um and going to Adventist schools. I remember we would, of course, do some special musics for church. Um, our elementary school was really big into doing songs and things. And then when I was in high school, we would have all the Adventist high school I went to was a day academy, had about 300 students, so it was actually quite large, and a lot of music. And they had their big music program early December called the Feast of Lights. So if anybody has gone to that school, they know exactly what school I'm talking about. Um, so so that was really the church aspect of it, but actually Christmas Day, I was just sitting here thinking while you were doing your intro is Adventism never really did a great job of doing any kind of Christmas stuff on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It was usually beforehand, it was typically more of a family holiday. Um, for me, I think Christmas growing up, of course, the presents were great, but it was time of family and eating meals, and most of my Christmas memories were positive as far as with family. We didn't have a ton of extra money growing up because my parents were paying for us to go to Adventist school, and mom stayed home most of the time. So we didn't get a ton, but we certainly got some good presents. We didn't do Santa. I think that kind of helped with the commercialism of it. Um, I didn't do Santa with we didn't do Santa with our kids, but I was very stern with them as far as making sure they didn't ruin it for anybody else because there are kids, that would go to their school that believed in Santa, and I would make sure I said don't mess it for them. It's part of their family Christmas tradition. Don't I don't want I don't want you guys to be that kid that ruined it. Um but yeah, as far as church and that, I would say Christmas for me honestly was kind of more 50-50 as far as like more the growing up. Yes, the whole Christmas thing was fun and the presents, but as far as remembering Jesus's birth, sometimes I think that would get lost a
Mm.
little bit.
I I know I was hoping today that my friend Jane could come and be with
Yeah.
us, but she's not feeling horrendously well. And she said something to me that really stood out on my mind. And she said, considering that we all grew up Adventists, we never did really good at celebrating Advent. And of course, I had to ask her what she meant. Um, that's how good I was at celebrating Advent, was that when she said those words, it didn't even mean a whole lot to me. My first thought was, Advent calendars. You mean we didn't open a little thing and pull a candy out every day? No
Right.
chocolate. And I know that's a big thing with kids. And so she has this amazing little devotional, and she's been sharing some of her Advent readings with me. And the ones I've read, I really liked. And I have another friend that has an Advent cup of tea, and she's been sharing every morning on Facebook her thoughts and her memories, and just
Hmm.
drawing everybody into drawing everybody into this, I guess partly the story and looking forward to what Advent commemorates. So,
Hmm.
um, and yeah, so I've been looking online. I'm part of a few Facebook groups where there were a lot of Christians of different denominations and quite a lot of Adventists. And there was big debates about do we or don't we celebrate Christmas, and some people saying that it's Satan's birthday. That quite surprised me. I'd never heard that one before. So that was a new one to me. I only heard that a couple of days ago. Um, to me, it's I think sometimes it's a bit like when somebody dies. That's a terrible thing to say, but when somebody dies, you don't have the funeral always on the exact day.
Mm-mm.
You have the memorial of the wonderful event later.
Right.
I know a lot of people that got married in secret and did things and then had the memorial later. So the whole date thing was never a big issue for me. It was more about this is
Mhm.
a memorial of. I always knew it wasn't the exact time because nobody could know.
Right.
Did
It,
that ever bother you or?
well, that it was not the day that we don't know. No, I mean, and I think for me as well, I remember as a young adult or even as a pastor's wife or as a kid, and you say something about Adventism and being a Seventh Day Adventist, like, oh, do you guys celebrate Christmas? Because they get us real confused with the JWs a lot, the Jehovah Witnesses and maybe the Mormons and stuff. So no, we celebrate Christmas, and I think we were so, and I think at Easter as well, and I'm sure we'll talk about this that approaching more Easter time. Um, I my impression, and I'm sure people will correct me if they think I'm wrong, was that Adventists in general, or many of the ones I've interacted with, were so afraid of being perceived as Catholic or Lutheran, or especially Catholic, that they didn't really go wholeheartedly into celebrating Christmas like some of the others. And I could be wrong. However, I think that, and also Adventism focuses on the second Advent, not the first. And so we forget about the first Advent.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
never thought of it like that. That's a really good point.
they're focusing on that second Advent of Jesus coming in the end times, and I think they're forgetting just about that wonderful gift that we have of a savior. And if that wouldn't have been possible without Christmas. Did it happen on December 25th? There's a 1 in 365 chance that it was. I mean, maybe we can narrow it down more. I know I've seen, I think you sent me a chart um that probably, I think, put out more by Catholics, just saying that because of different dates, they've kind of put it together to say that it's December 25th. Honestly, I don't care what date we have picked. And I don't think Jesus cares either. I think he's probably, I'm assuming he's happy that we are remembering, as long as we don't forget that he is the reason for the season, that all of this. And from other people looking in, if they're other Christians and they see that they don't see Adventists celebrating Christmas, I know there's small pockets of them. How are they going? They're going to doubt, you know, whether or not an Adventist is a Christian because they're not celebrating. I know that we did have a pastor growing up who, his family didn't have a Christmas tree. They didn't celebrate Christmas. Um, but he's also the one I remember going in gathering with the most, was him, because he loved to sing. And so he would come caroling with us and the little kids out in the snow for the in gathering. But I
In
think that,
gathering in the snow?
well, yeah, because it's Christmas time here and we have snow. I remember in a blizzard, I think there was, because I grew up, where there's a lot of lake effect snow. So that means the weather from Lake Michigan pulls a lot of moisture and just dumps it really close. So you can get 6 or 8 inches easily in a storm. Um, and I remember there was a debate whether or not we were still going to do in gathering, and it was a big deal because they'd have hot chocolate and snacks and things when you were done, and you all come in your snow outfit, snow pants, and a hat and gloves and mittens, and in and out of cars. So no, it was cold. And we were in the snow, and I remember it was, I mean, we're traipsing through 5 or 6 inches of snow to go up to people's doors.
So, so I'm just laughing because I can't even imagine it. I've never ever had a Christmas with snow. And I mean, I spent a lot of my childhood years in Australia.
Hmm.
And not only, I mean, it's summer here for Christmas, but over there where we lived, it was Christmas could be so hot,
Hmm.
ridiculously hot. You don't go outside because it's too hot.
Well, we
Hide from
don't
the
go
sun.
outside sometimes because it's too cold.
It's so different. For anyone listening that doesn't know what ingathering is, do you want to just like a little tiny short thing on what it is? Because I remember ingathering as a child or as well. And just to be clear, I hated it. I just hated it. Couldn't think of anything worse.
So in gathering doesn't necessarily exist much anymore. It might in some pockets of the world. Um, but it was typically, from what I remember, near the end of the year. So probably starting in November, give or take. So when people are starting to think about Christmas and stuff,
Mm.
you would go door to door with a jar or a can that had the insignia of the church on it, and you would ask for money for missions or the special projects. I think stuff like ADRA was maybe supported through it, if I remember correctly. Overseas missions usually.
Mm.
Um, some would go from business to business, and that would be sometimes a good place to go and get, because they could, donate at the end of the year. maybe get, I don't know if they were doing tax deductions or write-offs or anything like that. But I remember it being a big deal and it was kind of a competition as well. Like how much money did you bring back? Um, I was looking, so my grandparents on my dad's side became Adventists when my dad was so almost 1958 or something like that. And I found my in my grandma's old Bible. I knew I had seen them in there, so I went looking quick because I thought talking about Christmas we might talk about ingathering. Because for me, an Adventist child, that was kind of together. And this, I don't know. Can you see that? It's the
I've never seen
Jasper.
one of those.
It's the Jasper Wayne Award by the Wisconsin Conference, 1968 to 1969, and it says at the bottom, um, $130. So I'm guessing that's how much she had raised. And then there's another one, and I don't know what year. This was called Silver Vanguard for 25. And I looked up
Wow.
Vanguard because I didn't know what that word meant. And it means a group of people leading the way in new developments or ideas. So, and then a golden one for 50. So to put that into perspective, the $50 one, well, actually, I'll just say because I know what year the
Mm.
$130 one was. In 1968, $130 would be worth about $1,000 today.
Wow. I was thinking it was a lot of money for back then.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how she raised all of that. I'm guessing she probably went door to door. My grandma was I would say pretty ballsy, pretty bold. So she probably went to businesses and different things to ask for money. Um, there was, I think, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're talking about going to businesses. Most of my memories of doing in gathering was actually on Saturday afternoons. We'd have church lunch, and then they'd pull out the map and divide the whole town up into little squares, and everybody got their square, and off they went.
Hmm. I remember it might have been Saturday evenings or something that we would go. We might have gone with the school groups. I honestly don't remember. That's it's been a long time. And I think it's I asked my husband if in gathering was even a thing when he started pastoring because he started pastoring in like 2000 2001, and
Hmm.
it wasn't really a thing. We did have one elder in one of the churches who was pretty enthusiastic about it, but I don't remember it really happening much after that.
Um, I wonder how much of that's a digital age thing too. I mean, a lot of people don't even carry cash anymore. Now they don't have some in their house to give a little kid that comes to the door.
Who's going to answer the door anymore though? Like, to me, if anybody comes to the door and I don't know who they are, I'm almost like wanting to hide. I'd usually answer the door, but
Okay. Well, I live in a very rural area, very
yeah.
rural. My closest neighbor is over 2 kilometers away. So I could probably count on both hands the number of times someone comes to the door in a year. Um, but generally, nobody even gets to the door simply because we have a long driveway. So we're generally at the door and it's open before they even get there because yeah,
Mhm.
it gets different depending on where you live.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was just thinking, I don't know what to say, Carrie, but
Hmm.
I feel like I wanted to say something to acknowledge the people that don't have happy memories of Christmas,
Mm,
um,
yeah.
that watch the movies on television and see all the decorations in the store, um, and even if the people that see the decorations, that see the movies about all the big family gathery things, but
Hmm.
don't have that
Yeah.
for whatever reasons, because of distance, overseas living, or
Hmm.
um, people passing on or whatever. I don't know what to say. I just wanted to say something to acknowledge the people that are alone at Christmas. And I know I've a very dear friend that chooses to be alone at Christmas.
Mm.
It's and she has a wonderful Christmas day. has done for quite a while now, um, with their memories of those that have passed and things. But I
Hmm.
know for a lot of people, it's not a choice. I sort of feel like you talked about remembering the reason for the season, remembering that Christmas is really about Jesus and birth and then the
Hmm.
gift that it brings to the world and things. And I wonder if remembering that changes actually what I was thinking in regards to people. I was thinking about the people. I, I feel like we get sold a big commercial, we get sold a dream package if you look at the
Yeah.
advertising and the shops and everything.
Yep.
And so there's a part of my heart really feels for people that don't have that little dream package Christmas that you see
Mm.
in the pictures and the posters and the cards and the movies and the.
Yeah. Well, I think it's especially for kids. I mean, I know here the church we attend right now does like a toy drive for kids. You can grab a tag. It's not for a specific child, it's an age group, and so I usually the last couple of years I've picked teenagers because people it's not as fun to buy gifts for teenagers. And so I have my daughter pick out stuff because she's younger. She's worked with a lot of teenagers and so she knows what they like. So I said
Yeah.
just pick it off of Amazon, put it on my card, have it shipped to the house. I'll take care of it from there. So she picks out nice presents. And for me, it's to remind, hopefully, we're taking care of people as well when we can
Mm.
to make sure that they have a good Christmas. Because there's many kids and adults by no fault of their own do not have the means to have a good Christmas, or they don't have like what you were saying, family estrangements, loss of family, and that kind of thing that if around here in the US around Thanksgiving, there's a trend called Friendsgiving. So you have your friends over for a family meal. And then on
Mhm.
another time, a lot of times, then you have Thanksgiving with your actual family. And I think that would be wonderful for people who maybe don't have family for Christmas, if to include others around if they want to be included. Um, One I know one of my aunt, my dad's sister, she's a retired nurse, and so they were a lot of times not able to join for Christmas on the day because she had to go to work, or Thanksgiving. But again, it's not necessarily about the day; it's about the event, I guess,
Mm.
that happened.
Mm. I know this year for us, so for the last couple of years actually, and I've really enjoyed it. And that is that there's a couple of people I do still send presents to. Not so much this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I did some handmade crafts and things and put them on our local. We
Mm-hmm.
have a local page called Random Acts of Kindness
Mm-hmm.
that runs all year round, and so I put a couple of things up on there. So I'm going to meet some people that I've never met before this next week
Oh, very nice.
and drop off some really cool upcycled bags that I've made. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking to some on the internet already, and it'll be interesting to see. In the past, I've actually made friends with people that I've stayed in contact with doing things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is that. But sorry, my thoughts, I forgot what I was going to say now.
All right.
So this year and last year as well, I we actually just recorded some Christmas movies, and there was something wonderful about doing nothing. I mean, we've got animals, so we never do nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But there was something, I don't know, I feel like growing up, all the big celebration days and even the weekly go to church on Saturday thing, it was great. And there was the whole communal thing and the friends and the get together, but it seems like all the celebrations had a lot of fuss and energy and exhaustion
Yes.
and busyness
Yep.
attached to them.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I've had wonderful times, and we've driven to see grandkids and driven and to do stuff for Christmas. And like I said, I went to my friend's house, and it was wonderful. It was
Mm-hmm.
to help her put on a meal and get things done for that many
Oh,
people
sure.
was wonderful. But the last couple of years, there was something magical and wonderful about just being still.
Yeah.
about sitting in my chair, looking out the window at the sunshine, not the snow,
Mm-hmm.
looking at the ponies, listening to the birds sing, and knowing that I didn't have to do anything all day other than the things that I wanted to do. I didn't have to brave the traffic. I didn't have to worry. I just, there was something wonderful about doing nothing. I guess because there was no expectation attached to it. There was no, I have to get dressed up. I have to be polite. I have to, if it's a large crowd, I don't have to, you know, work out all the family dynamic things. And I
And that's
just,
always, Christmas, the last few years we've gone on vacation as a family, so that has been nice because we're spending enough money on the trip. Nobody's getting presents.
oh, what a wonderful idea. And I'm guessing that the meals are sorted and stuff. You don't have
Oh
to
yeah.
cook your own. And
Yep.
I see, that
Yep.
sounds wonderful, actually.
Cruising is the best. There's no cooking, no cleaning, and it's just so relaxing, because and I do enjoy a big Christmas family gathering and everybody getting together, but we're getting to the stage now that my husband and I are pretty much empty nesters. Our daughter is 21, she's gone to college. My son is 22, he lives at home, but he works a second shift, so he leaves in the afternoon and then he doesn't come home till 1:30 in the morning, so we don't really see him. He's responsible to keep himself alive. um and so we do get together with family when we can, when the year allows, but it's so relaxing to just sit and not have to do,
Yeah.
and enjoy, so almost like a long Sabbath.
My internet connection's a little unstable. We've got a thunderstorm rolling in sometime later this afternoon in the warm, so just fill in the gaps if I get cut off, sorry.
No,
Um,
that's all right. That's absolutely
as
okay.
as an adult, I think the greater understanding of the Christmas story and of Jesus and the
Mhm.
good news and salvation and stuff, as an adult, that is so much bigger and I appreciate it so much more.
Mhm.
But there's still a little part of me that misses that little magical, not the presents, okay? It wasn't about getting presents when you were a
Mhm.
kid. It was about the 6 weeks of anticipation.
Mhm. Yeah.
The 6 weeks of anticipation. It was about the waking up in the morning and thinking, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?
Mhm.
And a lot of the time we were really poor, and so mum would I can remember recycle things. She'd get, then my brother would get my bicycle, but she'd put a new seat on it so it looked like a boy's one, and she'd spray paint it and change the wheels, and
Oh
she'd
yeah.
upcycle things so it looked fabulous. And so it was
Mhm.
often things like that. But there was something about that anticipation and that sense of wonder that I miss.
Mhm.
And I think that's partly, just talking to you now, I think that's partly what I still heard a wee glimpse of when I was talking to my friend Jane about all her Advent readings.
Mhm.
Was there was still um there was a little, so yeah, there was, I could feel anticipation and wonder in some of what she talked about. And it
Mhm.
made me wonder. It made me wonder, what am I missing out on?
Yeah, well, and the church we're at right now, every Sunday they are doing lighting a candle. There's four different candles. They actually canceled services this weekend because of the snow and the extreme cold. So we missed out on week. Oh, hang on. My camera just decided to the okay.
Your camera's frozen, but I can still hear you, so
Yep.
you can keep going
Here,
with your
I am going
story.
to just change out the battery on this one and I'll be right back. I'm going to just turn this off my video for now.
Do you want to keep telling your story anyway, Carrie, about the four candles while you're doing that?
Well, and I wish I would have looked it up because um I don't know what the four candles mean now.
That's okay. It's more about how you feel about the whole
Well, and
ceremony
I
and
think
the ritual.
it's really fun because I help out in the kids um in the elementary kids church, and so they have battery. Haha, I think we're back up. So we have battery operated little candles in a wreath that the kids could take turns lighting.
Okay.
Okay, are we back? Yay, there we go. Yep, the battery died, so I just had to swap that out. So we're good. But I think it's good to every weekend or even every day, you know, weekends on the Sunday with the kids and every day to anticipate and remind that it's not just about the presents. I mean, the presents are awesome. I mean, I'm never gonna say, well, it's never about the presents, blah blah blah, because we all like to get stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So it's about the family time and it's about Jesus coming down and that wonderful story of the manger and all of that and I think it and to with Jane with her journey and being able to get I think she appreciates probably the ritual and the routine of the devotion and all of that stuff. I think there's so much beauty in that of being reminded on a daily and a weekly basis of the coming event, you know. And I think growing up in Adventism, I thought the Advent, like you, I thought the Advent calendar was just a little cheap thing with the you open up and there's a piece of candy in each one. I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily realize that that's the countdown to Christmas in a spiritual sense, from a church sense, because they we didn't do that because Adventism doesn't have a set opinion on Christmas.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and it basically you do what your conscience dictates kind of thing, you know. So yes, I appreciate the flexibility a little bit, but also it would be nice to have a solid yes, we celebrate Christmas, but I think there are some that see the pagan origins of it or that kind of stuff.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense. That
But
makes sense.
I think just the beauty of Christmas and to be reminded of the manger and all of that stuff. But yeah, I miss some of the Christmas stuff from when I was a kid. You know, I think it was um really kind of fun, the special musics and different things.
Mm.
But there's more opportunity coming down the line for stuff.
Mm. See, I guess too, when you're talking about being a kid and all that stuff about Christmas, I've never really asked you what sort of time frames you're talking about. See, I left home, uh, I don't know, about 2 weeks before my 16th birthday and never went back again. So through my teenage years and stuff, I had a lot of miserable Christmases
Oh,
because I was completely alone.
well, I
Mum had got remarried and she was having Christmas with her new family, and Dad had got remarried and he had Christmas with his new family. And I was sort of old enough that I didn't fit into the fuss over bracket, I guess. So I spent
I
a lot of
lived
Christmases. Yeah.
I lived at home until the day I got married.
Oh wow, what a totally different experience.
Totally different
Oh,
experience. The day the I moved out the day I got married when I was 22 and a half.
see, I think that's probably when the whole Christmas thing changed for me. Is I can remember being 18 or 19, I was been 18 and sitting in my flat knowing that my parents were 10 minutes drive away having Christmas with their new families. And um, I remember drinking wine and watching Christmas movies and cuddling my teddy bear. So some of the again, when I look back on some of those memories, they were just miserable. But I wonder how different it would have been if I'd had this Advent story and structure for the whole month of December that my friend's been talking to me about, because it would have pointed me to a whole different reason for things. I'm going to give it a go next year. I'm going to find myself a little Advent reading book, and I mean, I'm still getting the ones and stories from my friends, but I'm really looking forward to next year to finding an Advent reading book and looking at having my own sense of anticipation building up to a celebration of God coming to live on earth. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, and I
Um,
think Christmas is such an important part of the salvation story that we sort of skipped over as Adventists, and now we can really sit in it and really celebrate it. And I think in the way that
yeah,
it's supposed to be celebrated. And I'm still figuring that out. I've been out longer than you have, and it's still um and it looks like you have paused. Oh, there you go. And it's been freeing. It's been a wonderful journey, and I hope that um we can all both continue to explore what Christmas means, what Christianity means, what the life of our Savior means for us now, because I think it looks so much different than it did back when we were Adventists. I think it's takes so much of the pressure off of us because
yeah,
Jesus paid it all for us, you know. So um I think that's probably wrapping up for our Christmas episode, unless Dani, you have
yeah.
something you'd like to add.
Oh, I was just going to say, I would love to hear people's stories. If you've got a special Christmas tradition,
Mhm.
drop us a note and tell us what it is. I really would like to know.
Yeah.
If you have a really great Advent book that you read, I'd love to hear about that too. Please, if you've enjoyed the content and the stuff we've talked about today, just there's a little thumbs up button down there,
Yep.
and we look forward to seeing you all next time.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And we
Have
will
a Merry
we will see
Christmas.
you next time. Merry Christmas, all.